Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership in Carrollton, Texas, it is DCTF Live, an internet show you watch occasionally. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at texasfootball.com or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on iTunes. And let me make a personal appeal.
Oh, okay.
Max.
Greg.
Wait, hold on, stop.
Okay.
I'm sitting here saying, oh, there's Max Thompson.
Hi.
It's rude to not introduce you and then talk to you. So
No, that's fine.
That's Max. Hi, Max.
Yep.
Okay.
But you're also making a personal plea to me?
I'm making a personal
confused.
plea.
How does this work?
It is now Texas high school football season. Officially.
That is true.
It is game week.
It is
game week. There are games on Thursday, and we are fired up.
Mm-hmm. A little over 72 hours.
If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, literally right now is the perfect time to do it.
That's true.
Content is going to be great. We're
Next
gonna have
Monday will be an hour-long show. Yeah.
Friday will be an hour-long show.
We are in full game mode.
We're going to go back to having celebrity guest pickers for college football games.
That's true. We got to line them up.
It's going to be great.
Yep.
So if you have not subscribed to the podcast on iTunes, do it like right now.
Yeah.
So, how was your weekend, Max?
It was good.
Good.
I enjoyed my last bits of solitude.
I was at dinner on Friday night, and I was about halfway through dinner, and I looked up at my wife and I said, "Oh my God,
I'm going to miss you.
this is my last Friday night until Christmas." Like, think about that.
Yeah.
The next Friday night that we have free.
Yeah.
The next Friday night that we
Is
have
that
free.
literally Christmas?
It is. It's December 23rd. It's the day. It's Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Is the next time we have a free Friday night.
Okay.
Get lit.
All right.
Today is Monday, August 22nd, 2016, episode 186 number of games Mike Jorgensen played for in his illustrious Texas Rangers career. A little bit later, we've got a special in-studio guest who we are currently ignoring. He's in the studio, but it's like
he is? Where?
It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's like he's only it's by like motion.
He only exists if you acknowledge him.
It's like by motion, like
Okay.
it's how he sees it. We'll be joined by DCTF High School Insider Matt Stepp to talk all things.
Can't imagine he's excited this week.
All things week one.
imagine.
Very excited to talk to Matt. And we will have a couple of headlines here in a moment, including the AP poll was released for college football and a unique Texas flair. We'll get into that, and also you can decide my fate. So we'll get into all that in just a moment.
That hasn't been decided yet?
I literally just tweeted a poll about it.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
that will
all right.
end. That I've
Okay.
scheduled to end right as our show on Friday is starting.
Oh,
How
boy.
about that? How about that for content?
Oh, boy.
Max, one thing I did yesterday is drove over to Fort Worth,
Yes.
actually very, very southern Fort Worth, to see my friends.
Yeah.
I have friends. Humble brag.
Sure.
My friends Allie and Jeff.
Uh-huh.
My dear, dear friends Allie
Yeah.
and Jeff. My wife and I went down there. And the reason we went down there, not just because we love our friends, but
Sure.
also because they have just had children.
Yes.
They just had twin baby boys,
Sure.
Lincoln and Graham.
Sure.
They are adorable.
Yep.
They are also very tiny.
Yes.
They're like 10 days old.
Right.
And that is the smallest baby I have ever held. Because normally I'm not allowed around children until they're like 17, 18.
A little more durable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In case you drop them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just drop them. That's a scary feeling when you're
sure.
holding someone else's child. You're like, I can ruin this.
It remains my favorite, one of my favorite Mike Birbiglia jokes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm always scared to hold the baby because if I drop the baby, then I'll forever be the guy who dropped the baby. Like, you walk into a room anywhere and be like, oh, God, it's Mike. Did you hear? He's the one that dropped the baby.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
What do you?
after that?
You'll-
can't
you're
come back from
you're
that.
never shaking.
You're
that.
the baby dropper.
You're the baby dropper.
Yeah.
If you do that, you know that's why I made sure I was sitting down. I had and I was like, okay, now place it in my arms.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But we is their first children, and I think their last. Because I got two.
Yeah.
And
you're good. You're set.
twin boys again, adorable.
My brother has twin boys. We've talked about this. It's a unique experience.
Holy crap, that's too much baby.
It's a lot of baby at once.
That's a lot of baby at once.
Yeah.
My God. Like,
Yeah.
we went over there, and one of the things was you go over there and you bring them food. You know, you bring them casseroles and
Right.
stuff because
Right.
they can't
Right.
leave because they are they are
chained to the children,
prisoners in their own home to these tiny humans.
Yes.
And so one thing we did was I asked my buddy Jeff. I was like, "Hey, what are you really craving?" He's like, "Well, we love Mexican food. Please don't bring us pizza. Everyone's brought us pizza. We're so sick of pizza.
Thing, right?
We're so sick of pizza.
Yeah.
Please bring us Mexican food." So we brought them like a fajita bar.
Sure.
And the idea being that that my wife and I can hold the boys while they ate.
Yes.
I was like, give them 20 minutes to go do that. And my friend Allie sits down with rice, beans, and fajitas, and she literally turns to me and says, "It's so nice to be able to eat with two hands." And it was at that moment that I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say it's a nightmare because they're obviously thrilled and the kids are healthy and they're beautiful and they're going to be.
But
also, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like, Jeff has to go back to work this week.
Yeah.
And then she's going to be outnumbered.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
My brothers are his boys are almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
And they're at this point they're almost big enough now that he really just can't hold both of them.
Yeah.
Like for so long he's been, but now they can walk, they can climb, they can pull. Like holding both of them is like an Olympic sport.
Mm-hmm. It's
I can't imagine.
It's pretty remarkable. Again,
so
beautiful children.
Right. And the point is you cannot wait to have twins of your own immediately.
we that just seemed. I asked him. I was like, so they were like, we're just really, really tired, which is not. I mean, you could have one kid and you'd be really, really tired.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was like, they were talking about how they've gotten from a cumulative perspective, they've gotten a decent amount of sleep.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it's like you get 90 minutes of sleep here, and then you wake up and you have to feed them, and it's just, oh my gosh. But they are super awesome kids.
Sure.
And what I appreciate is that one of them, Graham, which shares the first two letters with my name.
Ah, good.
He's finicky. He's a little bit of a, he's a little bit of a whiner, but he really likes to eat.
Yeah.
Me and Graham got a kinship. I'm a big fan of Graham. So.
Sure.
We're DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. And we have a website. Max, let's get into a couple of headlines.
Woo!
The first headline is Game Week, baby.
Game Week.
Woo! I think on Thursday I'm going to bring in those poppers. Just
sure.
I think I'm going to do that on Thursday. The first, we are now in week 1 of the 2016 Texas high school football season, and I want to direct you now, not you, but the royal you, to TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com, we have basically
the world's greatest preview.
The most incredible preview that you've ever seen, okay? If you slept through the offseason, if you literally fell asleep on December 20th.
You are the football Rip Van Winkle.
Yes.
Yeah.
You fell asleep on December 20th, and you woke up on August 22nd.
Mm-hmm. You're like, what's going on?
Go to TexasFootball.com, and we've got everything you need to know.
Yep.
And I'm not talking like, here's little bullet points. It's like, here's their rankings and stuff.
Right.
I'm talking everything.
Right.
I am, in fact, 100% confident that you cannot read all of the stuff.
There's no way.
On here
so
before the first game kicks off on Thursday.
Way. I think if you sat down right now
and
started
nothing but that.
There's no way you're getting through all the videos, everything.
No, there's just not intense. A chance. There is so much hashtag content on TexasFootball.com right now in our high school opening week mega preview. It's just everything. Mm-hmm. We updated the rankings, so our preseason rankings are now up at TexasFootball.com, but you've known about them because you have your summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So our rankings are up. We have our Mr. Texas Football watch list. Mm-hmm. We'll probably dive more into that tomorrow on the show, but our Mr. Texas Football watch list, 100 guys we've got our eye on for the most prestigious award in Texas high school football. We've got region-by-region previews. We've got players to watch. We've got our state championship picks. We've got, just like must-see district games in each classification. Underrated players. We've got Matt Stepp's hipster picks.
Oh, it's got it all.
It's
got it all.
It's honestly too much content. I am concerned that there's too much content on TexasFootball.com.
Nah, it's not a thing. Okay. That's not a real thing.
TexasFootball.com is where you can find all that. Now, the next thing, Max, is we did have a little bit of breaking news over the weekend. and that is that the AP Top 25 issued their preseason poll. And so for college football, we have our preseason Top 25. Unsurprisingly, number one in college football, Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Isn't it just like big college football to try and usurp the Texas high school football opening week?
Big college football.
Big college
Always fun
football.
to do that.
What a load of crap.
Follow the money. Build-A-Burgers and other
False flag.
building 7. So we've Alex Jones. I'm just kind of spitting out
Just everything
conspiracy
conspiratorial
buzzwords,
that
yes.
you can. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we've the top 25 is out. The top 5: Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Florida State, LSU, and then Ohio State. I don't think there's really any sort. We like Florida State a little more than we like Clemson. This is really, we like Ohio State a little bit more than we like LSU. That's okay. These are all things. What we're really interested in is where the Texas teams lie. The highest ranked Texas team. Max, would you care to guess who the highest ranked Texas team in the AP preseason poll is?
UTEP.
It's
UTEP.
I'm not saying that's a bad guess, just a weird guess.
UTEP.
It's not UTEP.
Oh.
Do you have another guess?
Boy, I was really riding hard with UTEP.
All right, it's TCU.
Oh, TCU.
TCU comes in at number 13.
Yeah, I should have thought of that.
TCU comes in at number 13, just behind Michigan State and just ahead of Washington. Number 13, TCU. The next highest ranked team. Washington. The next highest ranked team, the Houston Cougars. H-Town Takeover. Coming in at number 15. I understand that there are probably going to be some Houston fans. Houston fans are going to be split on this because there are going to be Houston fans who are going to look at this and be like, we should be a top 10 team. We were a top 10 team last year. Why shouldn't we be a top 10 team this year? And then there's the Houston fans that I will more relate to, which is they are saying, holy crap, we're ranked 15th in the AP poll. That's pretty remarkable considering where this program was just like 24 months ago.
Yeah.
Like where they were just firing Tony Levine, or I guess I was 12, whatever. You know what I mean. Yeah. Just firing Tony Levine, bringing in Tom Herman, a lot of question marks. They are now ranked 15th in the AP poll. Pretty remarkable. Elsewhere in the AP poll, Baylor comes in at number 23, and you have to wonder, you have to think that was the most polarizing school in this ranking.
It's just
right?
hard to figure at this point.
There's
just no way.
You have no idea. And I'm gonna have a story up on TexasFootball.com as part of our storylines thing, countdown about Baylor and about where basically it's just going to be like 400 pages of me shrugging, because I don't really know, I don't really know. Like on one hand, the talent is there to absolutely win the conference.
Right.
I don't think there's really any question about that. On the other hand, this is a program that has just gone through the worst offseason that we can remember ever since the death penalty.
Right.
And so where's their head going to be at? Elsewhere, also receiving votes, Texas A&M is the de facto number 27. Texas is down there as well.
Which I think the A&M thing sort of speaks to the power of the SEC, right? Like pretty much largely picked middle of the pack, like the exact middle of the SEC, still managed to get 27th.
Who knows? So anyway, we are DCTF, or no, rather, I've got one more headline for us. And it's kind of a headline. You remember last week, Max?
Yes, hashtag Tepperware.
Hashtag Tepperware. We have where I was asking folks to tell me where I should go on Saturday to watch Week 1 Texas high school football on Saturdays, preferably Saturday evening. I have now, Max, narrowed it down to 4.
Wow.
We've narrowed it down to 4 people. You can vote on my Twitter at Tepper. I'm going to retweet it from the Dave Campbell's account here in a moment.
All right.
Hashtag Tepperware. The 4 nominees. Georgetown against Fort Worth Brewer at McLean Stadium in Waco.
Okay.
Lovejoy versus Argyle at Allen.
Right, Eagle Stadium.
The Heiko 6-Man Super Saturday, which is the big mecca of 6-man football.
Yeah.
Or Garrison versus Tyler TK Gorman out there in East Texas.
Wow.
So those are the 4 options. Vote on Twitter, hashtag Tepperware, and I'm being dead honest. Whichever there are some times where I'll put a poll up there and then I'll just pick. I'm not going to do that this time.
Okay.
This poll is going to end when we start the show on Friday, at noon on Friday. I will then just whoever is winning at that point, I will go to that game.
Okay.
So,
Right.
those are the 4. Georgetown versus Fort Worth Brewer, Lovejoy versus Argyle, Heiko's 6-man Super Saturday, or Garrison versus Tyler Gorman. Vote.
I can't help but
on
notice you didn't
Twitter.com.
include El Paso, Valley, Houston games. Why do you hate those places, Greg?
There are no games in El Paso on Saturday.
A likely story.
There are no games in the Valley on Saturday, I don't believe.
Are you sure about that?
And I don't want to drive to Houston.
Whatever, man.
We're DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. And we have a website. It is week 1 of the Texas high school football season. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
That's true.
And here to talk about the most wonderful time of the year, Dave Campbell's Texas Football High School Insider, Matt Stepp. You've been sitting there the whole time. Oh, turn on his mic, Max.
Oh, sorry.
Turn on his...
Oh,
There you go.
yay! It's
Yay.
football season.
It is...
Happy football, Greg.
Happy football, Matt.
Happy football, Max.
Hi, happy football.
Our very controversial stance here on DCTF Live is that football is better than not football.
It's true.
I know we're going
Pushing the envelope
I
there.
know. Listen, we don't.
takes.
Yeah, we
Hot
do not.
takes.
We don't beat around the bush around here. That is something. So I want to ask you. This is week 1 of the Texas high school football season. Always very special. Everybody's undefeated. Everybody's got high hopes. Is this your favorite week of the Texas high school football season? What is your favorite week of the Texas high school football season?
It's not my favorite. It's great. I love it.
It's great.
because it means football's back.
It's top 3, right?
Yes, it's probably number 3
Okay.
out of the top 3. And that,
Sure.
It's here's the downsides to it. Let's do the bad for the good.
Okay, that's fine.
The
All right.
downside is the games don't mean anything for the most part. Even though, thank you Frisco ISD for having district games week 1.
That's true.
That makes me
exciting,
happy. The games don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, and it's hot.
Yeah.
Now the weather's been great this past week, but I have a feeling it's going to warm up a little bit. So it's a little warm still. It's
a great
It
point.
wouldn't feel right if it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my second favorite week's probably week 10 or week 11 because
Sure.
you have playoff
Yeah.
scenarios out the wazoo. The potential for the coin flip at Whataburger is always a possibility.
yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
And then obviously my favorite's the first week of the playoffs because that's just you combine do or die games. There's a lot of them around, and who doesn't like brackets, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves brackets.
Everybody loves
So,
brackets.
it's on top 3. But hey, it's great. I'm happy. I'm just over the moon that we'll have games on Thursday and scores will be coming in. So it's kind of getting that football routine going. From
Yeah.
media, all the I get all the media mafia buddies. I'll have all their podcasts up this
Oh,
week.
they will.
So, that's always fun
Those
listening.
fly-by-night podcasts that don't have
Yeah.
the courage to do it every day.
They
Yeah.
don't have the courage to
Yeah,
do it on
they're
video.
weekly podcasts.
They all
Yeah.
have faces for radio.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
So,
Um,
it's fun. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to be actually live tweeting from a game Thursday
It's going to
night.
be you're going to be at Everman and Mansfield Timberview.
Yes, I will homer it up
You will.
Thursday night with Everman, which actually it's a good game.
It is, no.
That is a
Couple of
good game.
Playoff,
That's very exciting.
couple playoff teams. I like the folks in Mansfield ISD are always extremely hospitable, so looking
Yep.
forward to visiting Newsom Stadium.
Buttering them up.
Right. Please bring food to the press box.
We have a
Good food.
you have an article up on TexasFootball.com with your hipster picks.
I stole that from you guys, by the way.
Hipster?
We are
Hipster
we
picks?
are the preeminent Texas high school football hipsters.
Oh,
so
sure.
welcome to the
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
You explain to folks exactly what you think qualifies as a hipster pick, and then maybe run through who exactly would be your hipster picks.
So I think a hipster pick is someone who a team that's flying a little bit under the radar that has a chance to greatly exceed expectations and greatly exceed the talk around them upcoming this season. It could be a team that was really good last year, but for some reason no one's talking about them. A team that wasn't so good that maybe has a shot to get to the playoffs. It's one of those teams that you can say in week 11, I told you so.
Okay, so
So
it's
one of those kind of teams.
It's the kind of team that you want to be at the you want to be around the water cooler talking with your buddies, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm really excited about Allen. I think they're going to be really good. Oh man, you got to watch out for Cibolo Steel, or
Yep.
oh man, can you believe Salina's going to be good?" And then you come up and you say, "Hey, what about Dripping Springs?" One of those teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
One of those teams. So, a couple on the list. Schertz Clemens,
Yeah.
for example.
Oh,
Great team, had a great year last year. Went to the
Oh, yeah.
quarterfinals. I mean, but no one talks. They don't even get talked about in their own city. Everybody talks about Steele and Judson, and you have Lake Travis and Westlake moving to Region 4. No one's talking about Clemens. Hey guys, they have Frank Harris in their team.
they got that
pretty
dude.
good.
If they can play any lick of defense, they struggled on defense last year. If they can improve on defense, they're going to score points. Frank Harris is that good. I
Yeah.
think they're a team that could really make some noise. No one's talking about Amarillo High that much.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
Sandies.
we've talked a little bit about that.
The Sandies.
You're sitting on a Sandy shirt.
Yes.
It's right there.
Back there.
It's a Sandy
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Denton Ryan and
yeah.
Colleyville in Region 1.
Yeah.
Amarillo has a shot. Amarillo beat Tascosa last year,
Yep.
who gave Denton Ryan all they wanted. There's no
Yeah.
reason Amarillo can't win Region 1.
sure.
But
Mhm.
no
For
one's
sure.
talking about Amarillo except for Dave Campbell's Texas football.
Mm-hmm.
And probably Lance Lawnert. Hey, Lance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey,
Um,
Lance.
Shout out to Lance.
I think Frisco Independence is a team that really has a shot.
Mhm.
They could start 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. if you
Looking
look
at their schedule, they
Yeah.
new schools typically year 3 they kind of get it rolling. This is
Right.
year 3 for Independence. They had some good sub-varsity. I talked to Lee Wilkins over at Princeton at the scrimmage Thursday, and he mentioned how strong their sub-varsities were last year. Independence, you add in Dominic Williams, Kansas commit, transferred in from Bishop Dunn, a favorable early schedule. They get some confidence, get it
Yeah.
rolling. I think they got a shot. Frisco's always really balanced. I think they have a shot to do some damage.
Well, and especially to talk about Frisco Independence for a moment, I wonder if there is about the mental barrier, about how there was the moments like, oh, well, no Frisco ISD team's ever really done much, and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Frisco Lone Star storms into the state championship.
Oh, hey, we
game.
can do this.
And in a
Yeah.
lot of respects, I mean, they were in that game for most of that game. Now Cedar Park was a fantastic team, but I wonder if there's that mental aspect for a team like Frisco Independence that could be like, wait, why not us? Why not
Exactly.
us? Why can't we go and do it? So you can check out all of Matt Stepp's hipster picks on TexasFootball.com. All right. We are now in the thick of week 1. You're going to be on the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Radio Hour tonight.
I'm very nervous. You and Max will have to carry me on that.
Which is on Texas State Networks, by the way. We'll promote it on Twitter here in a moment. Exactly where you can hear it. But we're going to be talking a lot about week 1, doing a kind of a previews of the biggest games. Which games? Actually, no. Let me start with this. A lot of big time teams are playing teams from out of state. So, for example, Port Arthur Memorial is playing Panama City Bay. Bishop Gorman from Nevada is playing Cedar Hill. South Lake Carroll and Euless Trinity are playing teams from Oklahoma. This is gonna sound more negative than I want it to. Does that interest you at all?
Not much.
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, because I have no frame of reference.
Yeah.
I know Bishop Gorman's really good,
Mhm.
but I don't have any frame of reference to compare them to other Texas teams. So, if Cedar Hill loses by 21 or wins by 21, there's
Right.
really no frame of reference there. And to be perfectly honest, I don't care about teams from out of state that much.
Yeah, and for me, like,
no offense to those teams,
No.
but I like Texas high school football. So,
like, I go back to last year where Euless Trinity beats De La Salle out of California, who was supposedly the number 1 team in the nation. They beat them, and then they get bounced in the first round.
Exactly.
Now, admittedly, that was it wasn't a fluke. South Grand Prairie beat them, plain and simple. But I mean, that was decidedly an upset. But still, I think you're exactly right that these out of state games, there's not a great reference. Like, this doesn't. Week 1 for me is about, I want to learn more about these teams, and I just don't know if I'm going to learn a whole lot by watching South Lake Carroll beat Tulsa Union or whatever.
yeah, and it's week 1. There's always quirky, weird results in week. I guarantee you, high school football fans, week 1 there will be 4 or 5 games where you're like, what?
Yeah.
There's always in week 1. There's just always weird results. So you throw that in with the fact that there's no frame of reference, and the rules are different, and it's just. No offense to those teams, they're great teams,
Right.
and Hoover's a great team, Bishop Gorman's a great team. Panama City, Florida, I'm sure is a very good team. There's always a lot of great teams, but it's just I don't have a frame of reference for it. And honestly, I'm a Texas football elitist. So
we're homers.
Yeah.
We're unabashed Texas high school football homers, and that's a flag that we will wave proudly. The other was it week 1 when Stephenville lost to that team from Mexico?
Yeah,
That was week 1?
Yeah, Monterey Tech. Yeah,
I mean,
one of them. And Monterey Tech.
That's a perfect example. And then they ended up going and did they win a title that year? Or they were at least in it. They were
I can't
in
remember if that was the
thick
year
of
they
it.
lost to. They won it all, or if that was the year they lost, like late in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Stephenville was a good team that year, and it's just,
All right, so week 1, which games are you most excited about? I know you're going to be at the Star on
Star. Let Max. Max, when you walk in, just walk in, just in the press box and just do that.
It's gonna be too early in the morning.
Over-exaggerated.
It's gonna be way too early in the morning for
So
that.
you-
It's that Independence game's at 9.
Yeah, at
I'm gonna
9
be
a.m.
getting up at like
Football
7
and
that
donuts,
morning.
yeah.
There's no way.
So you're going to be going to certain games. You're going to be going to some games. What, whether you're going to the game or you're not going to the game, which games are you most excited to see what happens in?
I'm going to avoid some of the obvious ones because those games will get talked about. Like Katy Westlake, that's a great game. Cedar Hill Bishop Gorman, Allen Hoover, all those games are great games. They'll get talked about a lot. I think some of the ones that I kind of off the radar a little bit. I think I haven't seen a lot of talk about it, but I think Houston, Lamar, and Spring Westfield is going to be a fantastic way to open the season on Thursday night in Houston. Two supremely talented teams. A lot of expectations this year. Westfield's in Region 2, Lamar's in Region 3, so they won't see each other in the playoffs unless it was a state championship. But I think you can get a really good early idea of who in the Houston area is really going to be the team to watch, one of the teams to watch. Obviously Longview and Lufkin. I mean, that's just a good old-fashioned East Texas bloodbath when those two teams get together. Lake Travis Judson is going to be a great ball game as well. A game that I haven't seen much talk about. I think it's going to be really good in the small school ranks. I think Cisco and Breckenridge is going to be an excellent game.
Breckenridge can score.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Worrell at Brock, Breckenridge is the team they've had the most trouble with in district play the last couple of years. Cisco is always an elite team in the Division II ranks. I think they're a team to keep an eye on in a much tougher region. I think this is a good early litmus test for both teams to see where they stand in the grand scheme of things. Staying in East Texas, going back to East Texas, I think Gilmer, Liberty, Ilo. Always is going to be a tremendous game. Those are some of the ones that really stand out, just kind of jump off the page early at me.
And there's a couple of other ones. I think I'm super interested in Manville and Crosby. Manville and Crosby is going to be really, really fantastic. Excited about that. You know what? If you want to, I think a game that's flying under the radar, Denton Ryan and Lancaster.
I just talked about that game this morning with Steve Gamble of the Denton Record Chronicle.
I mean, Denton Ryan is our number one team in 5A, and they're our pick to win the 5A Division I state championship, okay? Man, you're talking about hipster picks? Is there ever a year that Lancaster is properly rated? I mean, it seems like they are always that team that's like we'll look at our rankings, and I need to adjust for it next year, that every year they'll start the year, ranked, but not really in the top 10. And then they always overachieve. Chris Gilbert just always has those boys ready to go.
Yeah, I think, and actually I talked to Lancaster scrimmaged Duncanville last week. And obviously, results aside, he just texted me and said, man, Lancaster's really good.
Yeah.
He was very impressed with Lancaster and what they do. We all know about Denton Ryan. I think that's a game that is really going to tell us a lot early on about where in 5A what the pecking order is in the Metroplex as far as who are the big dogs to watch. Manville and Crosby, I think the biggest thing is I think people are kind of unsure about Crosby because Netherly's moving to quarterback. I watched him in 7-on-7, and he played Netherly. People don't really realize before he got to he played quarterback all up coming up, so he can spin it.
Yep.
Crosby's offense will be fine. Those two running backs they have. Be very interested to see Manville replacing all of they lost graduation.
Lots of pieces.
Still plenty talented, but they're not as experienced. So Crosby has a lot more experience. So I think that'll be a real true test for those two early on.
Two more kind of off the record game or off the radar games I'm really excited about. El Paso Eastlake takes on El Paso El Dorado. If you're looking for a quality El Paso game early in the season,
there's a couple out there.
There really are, and I think that for El Paso we haven't talked a ton about them yet, but El Paso looks like a team. I don't think there's a Canutillo. I don't think there's a team that's going to drive into the state semifinals, but I think this is a very deep group of El Paso teams that, like, when you get 3 rounds deep into the playoffs, you're going to have 2, 3, 4 El Paso teams that survive.
Yeah, I think Eastlake probably of all the teams in El Paso has the best chance of making a significant run, maybe to the quarterfinals. Obviously, they're not going to have the numbers that El Dorado has, but El Dorado doesn't have quite the numbers they used to because of Pebble Hills opening up, and they pulled a lot from El Dorado. So Eastlake probably just with talent, frontline talent, has the most back. Obviously, El Dorado has Tyquez Hampton at receiver, who's the biggest recruit in the area. I think it'll be very interesting to see. El Dorado's breaking in a new quarterback. He's more of a runner, so can they still keep Hampton involved in the passing game as much as they'd like? I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Maybe a lot of points in that game.
It's an absurd week of Texas high school football. It's a great week 1 slate, and we're going to have all of the games, all the big games previewed on TexasFootball.com coming Thursday morning. Is that right, Max?
Oh, baby, it's coming.
Thursday morning?
Thursday
is that it?
morning.
Thursday
I think
morning.
around 10:30 or 11,
All
right before the show.
So be by there. Be by the channel. He is Matt Stepp. He is the high school football insider for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at Matt_Stepp817. 2 P's.
2 P's.
2 T's, 2 P's.
Yes.
How about that? That's going to do it for us. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.